Here's your news for December 9th, 2019. We're starting off today with one of the most anticipated fighting events of the year, as Tito Ortiz finally squared off against Alberto Del Rio. Meeting inside an MMA cage on pay-per-view for Combate Americas on Saturday, the tale of the tape showed that Ortiz has shrunk a little in his old age, as he's actually 6'3" with a 74-inch reach. The two fighters were met with much different responses by fans, as Del Rio entered to rousing cheers by the crowd, while Ortiz was met with boos. Part of the storyline between the two revolved around President Trump's proposed border wall, with Del Rio being against it, and Ortiz, who trolled fans by coming out to Real American, is all for it. With the entrances out of the way, it was time for the fight, as Del Rio got the first takedown but was overpowered by Tito, who worked for the submission. Though the former WWE champion did work his way back to his feet, it wasn't long until Ortiz took him down again, and after applying a rear naked choke, Del Rio tapped with nearly 2 minutes remaining in round 1. Though Ortiz acted unsportsmanly by keeping the choke on after the bell had rung, the two eventually hugged it out in the ring, and while Tito had promised to donate $50,000 to charity if Del Rio survived the first round, something that obviously didn't happen, he said he'd give away $10,000 anyway. That just left one matter to take care of, as the pair had made a personal wager regarding championship belts, and since Del Rio lost, he had to give up his replica WWE Championship that he won back at SummerSlam 2011. Instead of keeping it for himself though, Ortiz gave it to his two sons in an act that could put him in contendership for Dad of the Year, as the 44-year-old proved he's still got it in the cage. Over to WWE now, and while there's a lot of things that fans can say as part of a WWE live experience, homophobic language shouldn't and won't be tolerated, as one fan found out. At the live event on December 8th in Daytona Beach, Florida, Shinsuke Nakamura was wrestling The Fiend, and as Sami Zayn watched his client from ringside, one fan who was in the front row allegedly hurled homophobic slurs at the Canadian superstar. After the fan repeatedly yelled that Zayn was a 6-letter word beginning with F and ending in T, the SmackDown superstar was rightly irate, saying, "Get him out of my face, homophobic moron," and could later be heard telling the person at ringside, "Say it louder for everyone, homophobic dick." As other fans online shared their disgust at what the person had said, the fan was ejected from ringside, as no superstar should be on the receiving end of this homophobic tirade. We've got some big WWE release news now, as after a long battle this year, Luke Harper has finally been released by the company. After announcing his intentions to leave earlier this year, his request was denied, and not only did he have more months added to his contract, the former Intercontinental Champion even made a brief return to TV. Later on yesterday, Sin Cara was also released after not appearing much on TV at all, and he too also announced his intentions to leave not too long ago. The Ascension, meanwhile, did not ask for the release, at least not publicly, but were also let go, as a statement by WWE said, "WWE has come to terms on the releases of Jonathan Huber, Luke Harper, Sin Cara, and Ryan Parmeter, Connor, and Eric Thompson, Victor of the Ascension. WWE wishes them all the best in their future endeavors." It's no secret that the WWE has signed a ton of talent over the past few years, but the unfortunate side effect is that it's left many wrestlers being underused thanks to the bloated roster. Though these four will now have the chance to prove themselves outside of WWE, some superstars who want out didn't get cut, including Mike Kanellis and The Revival. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer claimed that the WWE doesn't want to release anyone who is likely to go to AEW, as The Revival has made several references to wanting to wrestle the Young Bucks in the past. While Sin Cara and the Ascension may just find other smaller promotions to head to, it's very possible that Harper ends up in the new company, as he has friends in AEW and could be on TV once again very soon. We're looking ahead to this Sunday now, as the WWE has finally started announcing matches for their final pay-per-view of both the year and the decade, TLC. At the show, Bray Wyatt will face The Miz, but not with the Universal title on the line, And this match has shocked many who believed that The Fiend would face Daniel Bryan again, a rematch of their Survivor Series encounter. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer explained that this was the plan all along, but it was the Yes Man himself who had the match delayed, saying, "Originally, it was going to be Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan himself was actually pushing to delay it. He thought this pay-per-view was too soon, and I guess he's pretty hands-on with his story, which, if I was him, I would be too, because I wouldn't want these people messing with my stories, so it's gonna be The Miz." In an interesting move by WWE, it's not The Fiend that is wrestling the A-lister, but Bray Wyatt, and it doesn't seem like the title will be on the line. Fans will just have to wait and see whether Bryan does show up, as the last time fans saw him, he was getting a very painful haircut, courtesy of The Fiend. Now, we all know that Vince McMahon is a big name in the world of wrestling, but when fans saw the 74-year-old trending on Twitter recently, fans worried the worst had happened. The actual reason the boss was trending was thanks to French soccer star Alain Saint-Maximin, who plays for the Premier League's Newcastle United. After recently scoring a goal, the Frenchman had a very special celebration, and fans briefly saw Alain imitate McMahon's famous strut, which caused him to trend. Well, it's clear that the soccer fan is a big fan of the chairman. Not everyone is so keen on him, and last week, former superstar Ryback made his feelings clear on the boss. During his Conversations with the Big Guy podcast, Ryback even referred to McMahon as like a pimp, after claiming Seth Rollins' recent comments about CM Punk may cause the boss to lose interest in him, as he doesn't want to tease a Rollins-Punk match. Ryback said, "This could be a way for WWE and Vince McMahon to downgrade Seth Rollins a little bit here. I think you may see him taking some L's a little more often, because once Vince McMahon sours on you, and I saw the thing with the Humberto Carrillo guy, it's like a pimp who is done with his whore. Vince McMahon is done with him. He had his way with him for a few weeks and it's like, ooh, he's done. The saying is that Vince is done with Humberto. Of course he is, he does it all the time. He gets a little toy, plays with it for a few weeks, and then he comes up with a crazy reason about Humberto not getting over. There's always a reason for it, so yeah, Vince can be done with Seth as far as keeping him protected in the Golden Circle." The former Intercontinental Champion doesn't seem interested in making a return to WWE, but he does seem hell-bent on informing fans of his opinion on WWE, after being backstage to see how things are being run. Not only that, but the big guy still has plenty of friends backstage who can keep him in the loop of things, and though fans may never see the Rollins-Punk WrestleMania match, there are still plenty of options for the Beast Slayer. One person who knows all about wrestling CM Punk is Jeff Hardy, who has had his court hearing date changed once again after a brush with the law. In October, Hardy was arrested for the second time this year for driving while under the influence, and though he had a court date, this was changed to December 5th thanks to what was described as a personal matter. When December 5th rolled around though, the court date was again changed, and now Jeff is supposed to appear at Moore County Court on January 13th next year, according to a report from Heel by Nature. When Hardy was found by police after driving erratically, he was holding some recently purchased liquor, and this isn't the first time the charismatic enigma has found himself in the headlines for the wrong reasons. In June this year, Hardy was arrested for public intoxication at Myrtle Beach, but that charge wasn't nearly as serious as this DUI. Between these arrests and being out with a leg injury, the WWE have strongly implored Jeff to focus on his health, as his contract with the company is currently frozen, while his brother Matt's expires in February next year. Speaking of Matt, the former ECW World Champion is celebrating the birth of his third son, so hopefully Jeff will be able to get his life back on track and be the uncle his new nephew deserves. Time for some news outside of WWE now, as Jon Moxley has laid out the challenge to Lance Archer for a match at the World Tag League Finals at Wrestle Kingdom 14. After a match that featured the IWGP United States Champion Archer and Minoru Suzuki, Moxley emerged from the crowd, laying both men out with his Paradigm Shift DDT. Moxley then took the microphone and demanded a title match against Archer, claiming he wanted his US Championship back and said he would get it at Wrestle Kingdom next month in a Texas death match. Setting up a table at ringside, the former Ambrose tried to put Archer through it, but after a scuffle between the two, both men brawled to the back. Archer won the title in an impromptu no DQ match against Juice Robinson back on October 14th, and though this match was originally supposed to be Moxley defending the title against Juice, he was unable to make it to Japan due to a typhoon that struck the country that weekend. It'll be interesting to see how both Moxley and Archer do in the Texas Death Match, but one thing we know for sure is that neither man would have been able to have one back when they were with WWE. Some AEW news now, as after Emi Sakura ranked number 3 on the most recent company rankings, a match has been made between Sakura and Big Swole. Swole has stormed onto the scene at AEW, and with a win, she could climb the rankings, while a win for Sakura would cause her to climb the rankings after Hikaru Shida's loss last week. With a win-loss rate of 3-3, a win for Sakura could definitely set her apart from the rest of the AEW women's division, and it's interesting to see how Swole will do after debuting on the November 5th edition of AEW Dark. And finally today we're looking at tonight's Monday Night Raw, as Rey Mysterio will defend his newly won United States Championship against AJ Styles. The Ultimate Underdog won the gold from Styles a few weeks back thanks to an assist by Randy Orton, and the Phenomenal One will be keeping an eye out in case the Viper decides to strike once again. Though Mysterio may or may not have Orton on his side, we know that Styles will have Gallows and Anderson with him, and having the best tag team in the world in his corner may help Styles reclaim the title. Also on tonight's show, love won't be in the air, as Rusev and Lana finalize their divorce live on the show. It's very unlikely that this will be the end of this recent storyline, as every fan knows that these sort of things never go as planned. All we know is that it'll be a hectic night on Raw tonight as the company nears its end on the road to WWE TLC.